transport fare could not come home because transport had gone up. Destiny matter. They followed others to somewhere and things had changed. 5 years, 10 years. I wonder who you have followed and abandoned your own destiny. Are you hearing me? Abraham left the instruction, followed the father that did not hear what he heard. Okay, let's take one after the other. What have you heard concerning your life, concerning your destiny, concerning your future? What have you heard? If indeed you heard something, why are you following those that didn't hear what you heard? Why are you allowing them to make destiny decisions over your head? And you are quiet, saying nothing. You won't blame them because they didn't hear what you heard. It is very easy for us to blame Abraham. Why did you? But many of us are on this table this evening. What have you heard? What did God tell you when you were 5? What did God tell you when you were still in secondary school? What did you hear when you were still in the university? When the anointing of God was so heavy upon your life and you heard things concerning future, you were so excited and you were announcing to everybody in your class, you announced to everybody in your dormitory, you announced to everybody in your hostel hall and told them that this is who I am going to be. In fact, one guy walked up to me in the university while we were about graduating, and the guy said to me, if there is anyone I'm looking out for you. My classmate, for yourself. Are you now for? You are leaving yourself to look out for me. But maybe they saw a star boy. Everybody wanted to be like you because they felt you had the future all figured out. Did you have those kind of people in your class? It was like they knew every step of the way. They had already planned it. And you were even envying them. You wanted to be like them. You wanted your future to be clear to you as it was to them. Maybe you were that person that they were envying. They looked at your life. This one would be a mighty instrument in the hands of God. All of a sudden, you are now dancing a willow on TikTok. Oh, you think it's a joke? Someone to school together. He said last week, he said, the person that led me to Christ is no longer in faith. He said, this guy taught me everything I know. But today he's not in faith. Where have you left your call, your vision, your dream, your goals? Where have you left them? Where have you abandoned? What did God tell you? Those things you heard. You may not have heard it because, of course, God speaks to us in different ways. You may not have heard anything, but there was this knowing. You knew inside you that I will be this. It was so strong in your spirit. You knew. In fact, the reason why you read your course was because of that thing that you knew. You saw yourself many times in the dream talking to people. Oh, how many of us had those kind of dreams? You were speaking to crowds. Oh, for some of us, we had dreams where we were raising the dead, healing the sick. Oh, I had plenty of those. You had all these aspirations. The question is, what you are doing now, is it in line with what you saw? What you're doing right now, is it in line with what God told you? No, I'm asking you. Because when this word came, I was, oh Jesus, the worst thing you can do to yourself is to live a life outside of destiny. It is worse than cancer. Miles Monroe asked a question. He said, where is the richest place on earth? And of course, there were many answers. The oil, cities of Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, United States, and so many other places. People were mentioned where, of course, you will find, commerce and industry, money, gold, everything, going on there. He said, no. He said, the wealthiest place on earth is the cemetery. He said, when you get to the graveyard, that is where you will see songs that were never sung, books that were never written, inventions that never saw the light of day, ministries that never started. He said, when you come to the graveyard, you will see people who had the capacity to build nations but couldn't even build their family. He said, when you come to the graveyard, you will see people who could have helped generations, but they died miserably. The graveyard. Men who abandoned their destiny, their assignment. They abandoned it. How old are you? No. Ask yourself. Do you know? Some people don't know how old they are. They are not very sure. It's actually between 1986 and 1987. I'm not really sure. My mother did not tell me. No problem. But choose one of the dates. And now ask yourself, how old are you? Do you think that you will be this strong 10 years from now? For all the singles here that I pastor, every one of us in this church, under the sound of my voice right now, if I add 10 years to your life, is either you are past 40 or you are almost at 40. We don't think in that line. We don't. We take it one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. It is a song for fools. In line with destiny. It is. Because ask yourself now, if I add 10 years to my life, some of us are already 50, that's 60 years. Some that are 60, that's 70. Some that are 40, that's 50. Will you have this energy that you have now, 10 years from now? If you will not, then what are you going to do between now and the next 10 years? In line with your assignment. You know, for some of us that are still, not up to 40, when we were 20, we used to hear that a fool heart is a... But do you know, we are very close to that foolish age. Because when you said that, you looked at people that were 40 and said, child, this guy has useless his life. Useless his life. Guy, don't worry. Me. You are 5 years from 40 now. 5 years. When I got to this point, God said to me, do you know? He said, if you understand how important destiny matter is, you won't take it for granted. I said, how? He explained. He said, for every problem that is on earth and every problem that will be, I package the solution and send as a child. For every problem there is, and for every problem that will age, the solution, and send the person as a child. Then he asked, why was it this couldn't enter the promised land? And it was Joshua. He said, not necessarily because he sinned. Yes, that played a role. But it wasn't his destiny. His destiny was to get to where he get to and hand over the baton. There was someone that had the destiny, but God never told him anything. But somehow in him, he felt the need to serve. He started serving, not knowing that it is a whispering of destiny. He kept serving Moses. The Bible said that Moses will enter the tabernacle, Joshua will follow him and enter. And when Moses will leave, Joshua will remain. All those times you read in the Bible that Moses climbed the mountain, Joshua was at the foot of the mountain waiting. So for all the days that Moses fasted on the mountain, Joshua was fasting too. He never knew it was destiny in him that was calling. He would have said, Oga, I no sign up for this one. Which kind of personal assistant will I be? I bet when you come back, we will see. You will go to enjoy. And then when Moses comes back, they will tell him, your guy is around. He will show up and say, hey, sir, are you back? No. But there was something in him. Why? It was his destiny. He said, why was it not Luke or Matthew that was John the Baptist? It was the destiny of John the Baptist to be the forerunner of Jesus. Nobody else could have done it. And remember, by his birthing and his lineage, he was supposed to be a priest in the temple. But somehow this priest left the temple and entered the wilderness. Destiny was pulling him. He said, why was it Jesus and died? His destiny. He said, I come in the volume of the books. There are things written about me that if I fail, I not only fail myself, I fail a generation. So I must do, he said, I must walk the works of him that sent me while it is still day. Because the time cometh when no man will walk. So you see this destiny matter. I am not sleeping on duty. I will have to pursue this thing. Because there's an age where they will flog Jesus. He will surrender. Imagine if he lived up to 70 and they beat him, that thing they beat him. He will surrender. I know they die again. I know they die again. I bet. But he had to, while he still had the strength to bear it. He said the young man must bear his burden in the days. So, when you came, you didn't just come. There is something that you came to do. He said that is how important this destiny matter is. Something that only you can do. Listen. God now said, he said, your generation is stronger than the generation of Abraham, stronger than the generation of Isaac. I said, how? He said, your generation is stronger. He said, because the Bible said in 2 Timothy chapter 3, he said, in the last days, perilous times will arise. He said, the person talking prophesied about the last days. The last days. That when you enter that period, terrible things will start happening. And he started listing the kind of things that will start happening. In fact, he said men will go from worse to worst. And he said, as the evil days come, I send people who are strong enough to withstand the evil days. So you are built very strong to be able to survive these days. That is why you came when you came. You couldn't have come in 1912. It would have been abuse of capacity. So God looked at the evil that said, which people, remember, we've been taught that all of us were created in Adam. But he was sending us according to the strength level. According to the strength level. He reserved us for this time. When it was time, it is only someone like you that can survive in a country called Nigeria. Because when we are talking about destiny, I say, in a country like this, yes, someone like you. He knew that you will be coming to a location called Nigeria in a time where they will rig election. And send some. He said he knows that these seasons will come, and he looked for who will be able to withstand this, and he sent you. That is how important your destiny is. But like Abraham, many of us have come to Haran and we have stopped. On this destiny walk, we've come to Haran. We have ended our journey. Some of us have been in Haran for 5 years. Some have been there for 10. Some have been there for 20. Some have been there for 30. What does Haran represent in your life? Number one, for some, Haran is marriage. Immediately they got married, they forgot everything about destiny. The last time you thought about destiny was before you got married. Since after you got married, nothing about. Some of us, that is our Haran. We came to that point and we relaxed. For some of us, our Haran is our children. Since you gave birth, you don't think anything destiny. You're only thinking about my children. What would they eat? My children. Where do they go to school? My children. Everything. My children. You are living and breathing your children. That's why when that child dies, the mother feels like killing herself. Why? Not just necessarily because of the pain of death, because that is all she is living for. There's nothing else. Haran. But have you forgotten that your children are not the only destiny you have? Your assignment for your children is to give them kingdom values and give them the capacity to fulfill their own destiny while you are pursuing your own. You are not meant to abandon your own destiny that you came for and now focus on your children. Why? Because when you stand before the judgment seat of Christ, you will be judged. So you are not supposed to abandon your destiny because of your children. While you are building them up, while you are giving them kingdom values, while you are training them to have capacity, God says, hey, don't be distracted though. Focus on your own too. For some, our Haran is a good paying job. Since you got that job, nothing else.